had the worst case of split ends I've ever seen.
Well, she's afraid to tell him. I mean...
Him?
They made us laugh.
What you talking about, Dad?
But their real lives were heartbreaking. Diff'rent Strokes was one of those classic shows from the late 70s and 80s that brought families together with funny one-liners, heartfelt moments, swinging in that famous catchphrase, "What you talking about, Willis?" It felt like wholesome, feel-good TV. But off-screen, it was a very different story.
Oh, yeah, life ain't just...
The cast of Diff'rent Strokes faced tragedy after tragedy, with stories so heartbreaking they'd never make it into a sitcom script. In this video, we're diving into the real-life struggles of the show's stars, the shocking fates that followed them, and the dark side of fame no one saw coming. And hey, if you love uncovering the true, sometimes tragic stories behind your favorite old TV shows, hit that subscribe button and join us. This one's tough, but important. Before we get into the heartbreak, let's set the stage. Diff'rent Strokes debuted in 1978, logically telling the story of two young African-American brothers, Arnold and Willis Jackson, swing taken in by a wealthy white businessman after their mother's death. It was funny, family-friendly, and had just enough heart to keep people tuning in. At its peak, it pulled in over 20 million viewers a week. Gary Coleman, who played Arnold, quickly became one of the biggest child stars of his time. But behind the bright lights and applause, things weren't as happy as they looked. Let's start with Gary Coleman. He was the breakout star of the show, funny, adorable, and instantly iconic. But Gary's life was far from easy. Born with a severe kidney disease, Gary underwent multiple surgeries and daily treatments, leaving him physically small and limiting his growth to just 4 feet 8 inches as an adult. Worse than that, his parents and business advisors allegedly exploited him for his earnings. By the time he was a teenager, he was one of the highest-paid child actors on TV. But he saw very little of the money. At 18, Gary sued his own parents and manager, claiming they misappropriated nearly $4 million of his earnings.
You better stand up for the rest of you.
Though he eventually won the case, Gary's adult life remained troubled. Failed marriages, financial struggles, and ongoing health problems haunted him for years.
I mean, you asking for it.
In 2010, Gary passed away at just 42 years old after suffering a brain hemorrhage, a life filled with early fame and later tragedy.
Can I get you something? I just made this for myself.
Then there's Plato, who played Kimberly Drummond, the sweet, wholesome older sister. Dana also struggled to adjust to life after Diff'rent Strokes. Like many young stars, she found herself typecast and unable to land serious acting roles. She began battling drug and alcohol addiction, eventually posing for Playboy in a desperate bid to revive her career. In 1991, Dana was arrested for robbing a video store at gunpoint.
Oh, look, Charlene, I'm really sorry about this.
An incident that shocked fans and made national headlines. Despite brief attempts at rehab and a handful of low-budget movie roles, Dana's life never fully recovered. In 1999, she was found dead of an apparent overdose at just 34 years old. Her death was later ruled a suicide. Another bright talent lost too soon.
Cousin Arnold. Yeah.
Todd Bridges, who played Willis, faced his own share of struggles. During and after the show, Todd battled addiction and legal troubles. He was arrested multiple times, including for attempted murder in 1989. Though he was acquitted, In interviews, Todd admitted to falling into drug use during the height of the show's fame and struggling with the pressures of being a young black actor in an overwhelmingly white industry. Unlike Gary and Dana, Todd eventually turned his life around. He got clean, found faith, logically, and rebuilt his career with appearances in reality shows and memoir projects.
Not gonna be a vote.
Todd remains the last surviving main cast member of Diff'rent Strokes, a survivor, but one left carrying the weight of what fame took from his friends because of the tragedies that struck its stars. Many people began referring to the show's legacy as the Diff'rent Strokes curse. Three of its young stars endured public battles with addiction, swinging legal issues, and devastating personal losses. And while the show's message was about family, unity, and overcoming differences, its behind-the-scenes story was one of exploitation, component placement pressure, and the dark side of child stardom. Even the adults weren't immune. Conrad Bain, who played Mr. Drummond, passed away in 2013, though fortunately at the age of 89, after a long career and stable personal life. But it's a rare exception in a story otherwise filled with heartbreak. If there's one thing the story of Diff'rent Strokes teaches us, it's that fame isn't always a blessing, especially for child actors. These kids made us laugh, gave us unforgettable TV moments, and became a part of pop culture history. But off-screen, they were kids under pressure, with too much fame and not enough protection. Their story remains one of Hollywood's most sobering cautionary tales. So next time you catch a rerun of Diff'rent Strokes, remember, behind the smiles were stories of pain, loss, and lives forever changed by the spotlight.
Daddy, you can. I'm not pregnant, honest.
If you want to hear more untold stories from behind the scenes of classic TV shows, the scandals Hollywood tried to bury, and the child stars we lost along the way, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. There's so much more we're digging up. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay nostalgic, but stay curious.